May I call Ms. Licano to lead the prayer?
Let us all stand through the present all day. Lord, we thank you for this day and for all the blessings and guidance that you have given to us. Let our teacher bless you for us teach, share his knowledge towards us. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Licano. So, good morning, grade 12 students.
Good morning, sir.
I am John Mengel Pasion and I will be your teacher for today. So, how are you today, class?
I'm fine, sir.
Fine, sir.
Who is absent today, class?
None, sir.
Okay, thank you. Before we proceed to the discussion, I prepare a short activity, and this activity is jumbled letter. You're going to arrange the letter to form a word that related to our topic today. So these are the jumbled letter. Who wants to try first? Yes, Ramil? Thank you, Ramil. Next, Jerome. Next, Miss Jerica. Next, Carlo. Thank you. Next, Ramil. Oh. Miss Nicano. Yes, Mr. Rulian. Yes, Carlo. Yes, Miss Nicano. Yes, Mr. Padillo. Yes, Mr. Rulian. And lastly, Mr. Galindo. Thank you, class. Based on our activity, what did you observe, class? It's about
Part of the speech.
parts of speech. That's correct, Mr. Decano. I Miss Decano, should I say? Okay, our topic for today is about types of figures of speech. So, but before that, what is figures of speech? Figures of speech enhance the meaning or written and spoken language to become meaningful. So, these are the types of figures of speech. So first is alliteration. So what is alliteration? Anyone? Miss Dicano?
Alliteration, the repetition of an initial consonant sound.
So it is the repetition of an initial sound. Example is, can you read, Mr. Ramit?
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Very good. So it has the repetition of an initial consonant sound. So another is, go and gather the green leaves on the grass. So do you have a concrete example of alliteration, class? Yes, Mr. Julian.
Little Mike likes making the sticky lollipop.
That's great idea, Mr. Julian. So always remember that alliteration, it is a repetition of an initial consonant sound. So next is anaphora. So what is anaphora? Yes, Mr. Padillo?
Anaphora. The repetition of the same word or phrase at the beginning of successive clauses or verses.
Thank you, Mr. Padillo. So what, based on the example, unfortunately, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time on the wrong day. So that is a concrete example of anaphora. At the same word or phrase at the beginning of successive clauses. So do you have any example?
Sir,
Yes, Mr. Padillo.
my friends are my world. My friends are my rock. My friends are my support. Based on this example, we see that friends here has been repeated.
Great idea, Mr. Padillo. So anaphora is a repetition of the sound. So I prepare one example. So she was in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person. So as you can see the anaphora, which is the repetition of the same word. So next is hyperbole. So what is hyperbole, Ms. Dicano?
Hyperbole, an extravagant statement, the use of exaggerated terms for the purpose of emphasize of heightened effect.
Very good, Ms. Dicano. So the example of hyperbole, can you read, Mr. Balikan?
I have a ton of things to do when I get home.
So I have a ton of things to do when I get home. So it's an extravagant statement. So the way you say the example, you should have exaggerated terms. So hyperbole, do you have any example for that? Yes, Mr. Rolian.
Sir, my hand hurts so much like it's going to drop off.
Great idea. So hyperbole, a figure of speech that utilize extreme extravagation of the sentence. So next is irony. So what is irony? Yes, Mr. Padillo.
Irony, the use of words to convey the opposite of their literal meaning. Also, a statement or situation where the meaning is contradicted by the appearance or presentation of the idea.
Idea. So irony is the use of words to convey the opposite of their literal meaning. So always remember that irony, use of word to convey the opposite of the literal meaning. So another example is her nice. She said, when I told her I had to work all weekend. So always remember that convey the opposite of their literal meaning. So next is metonymy. So what is metonymy first? Let's define first what is metonymy. So Mr. Julian.
Metonymy. A figure of speech in which a word or phrase is substituted for another with which is closely affiliated. Also, the rhetorical strategy of describing something indirectly by referring to things around it.
Thank you, Mr. Julian. So can you read the example, Mr. Balikan? Do you want?
The staff suit with a briefcase is a poor excuse for the salesman. The manager said angrily.
So so metonymy is in other words, it is a object or idea take the place or another with the sentence. So always remember that metonymy is a speech in which word or phrase is substituted for another with which it is closely associated. So I have an example. So the pen is mightier than the sword. You know that.
Yes.
So next is metaphor. So what is metaphor first? Yes, Miss Digano.
An implied comparison between two dissimilar things that have something in common.
Or an image of concepts to the abstract idea. So the example here is all the words are stage. So it is a comparison between two similar, which is the words and a stage, right?
Yes, sir.
So do you have any example? Yes,
Sure.
Mr. Padillo.
One example is that if music be a food, maybe I would love it and play on.
Great idea, Mr. Padillo. Thank you. So next is onomatopoeia. So what is onomatopoeia first? Yes, Mr. Baligan.
The use of words that imitate the sounds associated with the object or action they refer to.
So the example is the clap of thunder went bang and scared my poor dog. So the way onomatopoeia imitate the sounds associated with the object. So as you can see, the example is the clap of thunder went bang. So another example, do you have Mr. Padillo?
Yes, sir. Okay. So example is it was lovely to wake up early in the morning to the tweet of the birds outside of my bedroom window.
Nice idea, Mr. Padillo. So I have another example here. So please do not beep on your phone after dark. So next is oxymoron. So what is oxymoron?
Sure.
Sir, yes, Mr. Baligan.
A figure of speech in which incongruous or contradictional terms appear side by side.
Thank you, Mr. Baligan. So the example here is, can you read Mr. Padillo?
Certain example.
Yes.
He popped the jumbo shrimp in his mouth.
So oxymoron is speech in which incongruous or contradictory terms appear side by side. So first, oxymoron, pairing two words together or opposing contradictory. So there any, yes, Mr. Julian.
There will be a zero tolerance in the people.
Thank you, Mr. Julian. So I prepare another example for that. So her singing was enough to raise the living dead. So because of the incongruous or contradictory terms appear side by side, nagko-contradictory yung example natin. Of this example.
Yes, sir.
So another is paradox. So what is paradox? Yes, Miss Ticano.
A statement that appears to contradict itself.
Example. Yes, Mr. Julian.
This is the beginning of the end, said we are always the present.
So paradox is used to engage the reader. So in another word, paradox is a statement that appears to contradict its meaning, or another word is to use to engage the reader when they read a kind of statement in paradox, or the types of figures of speech. Do you have any?
Sir,
Yes, Mr. Balikat.
men work together whether they work together apart.
That's great idea, Mr. Balikan. So I prepare here an example that I know one thing that I know nothing.
It's contradicting.
The contradict of the sentence statement. Okay. So next is personification. So what is personification? Yes, Mr. Padillo.
Personification. A figure of speech in which an inanimate object or abstraction is involved with human qualities or abilities.
So paradox allows the reader to create imagination to create a statement. So within an object, arguments, and even abstract idea to create a good personification when they read a statement, which is an inanimate object or abstraction. So do you have any idea or example,
Sir,
Mr. Balikan? Yes.
the wildfire ran through the forest at the amazing speed.
Great idea, Mr. Balikan. Always remember that the personification is a inanimate object or abstraction. Next is simile. Yes, Mr. Ruben.
Simile, a stated comparison usually formed with like or as between two fundamentally similar things that have certain qualities in common.
Thank you, Mr. Ruben. So, for example, Roberto was white as sheet after he walked out of the horror. So, it is the comparison usually formed with the like or as. So, as you can see the statement of Roberto,
Was white as a sheet
Very-
after the walk,
very good, Mr. Ruben.
the word as and like and as.
Very good. So, do you have any example? Yes, Miss Ticano.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Oh, great idea, Miss Ticano. So, I prepare an example. The girl was sweet like a sugar. So last is sinekduke. So who wants to read the Mr. Baligan?
A figure of speech in which a part is used to represent a whole.
So it's which a part is used to represent whole. So the example is Tina learning her ABCs in preschool. So it represents the whole of the statement. So you have example for that, Miss Tigano?
Sir, the hard hands are hard work.
Very good, Miss Tigano. Always remember that senekdoke is a figure of speech in which a part is used to represent the whole. So thank you for listening class. So I know you learned a lot today, and so that who can summarize the lesson for today? The types of figures of speech. Who can summarize? Yes.
So are we going to enumerate all of those types of figure of speech, or I'm going to give my personal understanding about
Okay, you're going to summarize on
summarize. Okay, so types of figures of speech is a way to help a statement to make your statement more meaningful or more in connotative form, because it makes the statement more what do you call this one? more attractive to your reader to catch their interests on.
Thank you, Mr. Padilla. So now you're going to okay class, bring out 1/4 sheet of paper and you're going to analyze the sentence and you're going to analyze the sentence, use the sentences which it's either simile, personification, metaphor, or etc.
Yes, sir.
So for your assignment class is forms of non-fiction. You need to search the forms of non-fiction and to be passed tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So let's thank you for listening and God bless.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.